i105-107. The Third Eye. i105-107. Abie Philbin Bowman.
i105-107, I love my brick. We want to know what you're doing for the weekend. Text us here, Meteor 085-105-107. If you're around Dundalk at all tomorrow evening, we recommend Mr. David O'Doherty, who is, I suppose, technically the world's greatest comedian at the moment, as voted for by the judging panel at the top prize at Edinburgh. David, you're very welcome to the Third Eye.
No, Abie, I think it's tonight in the...
Oh, is it tonight? Oh, I'm terribly sorry.
No, hang on. I'm not the most together person on this. I've got the internet here. I'll put my...
well, I have to check the internet, and you know what? You're right, it is tonight. Yes. Phew, I'm glad we sorted that out at the beginning. My great apologies. Right, tonight, guys, get down to Spirit Store in Dundalk. It's as well that you know that, given that you're doing the gig.
I'm going to have to do the tragic thing of putting my own name into the internet and then the word Dundalk. And then all that would have happened was someone from Dundalk would have just been going, I saw him and he's rubbish.
Yeah, which inevitably is what happens when you put your own name into a search engine. Although you've had a few run-ins with search engines in your name. There's been a bit of David O'Doherty on David O'Doherty violence over that.
We don't talk about that anymore.
Do we not? Has that gone beyond the joke?
Well, there's three David O'Dohertys. There's a violinist who I've never had any run-ins with whatsoever, except I once stole... when I was starting off, I needed to write a press release, and no one had ever written anything about me in the published media, but he got a review in the Irish Times that week that he got a standing ovation for some like Brahms thing he had done. So I considered stealing a line from that, but I didn't. So we've never had a run-in, but yeah, I had a run-in with David O'Doherty, who was a mathematician who made a significant breakthrough in the calculation of prime numbers.
Fantastic. And you just so who's currently top? If I go to Google, who will I find?
You'll find me there.
Excellent.
He said, because I got the domain name davidodoherty.com, and he was stuck with O'Doherty.net, and davidodoherty.net, and he said that was infinitely annoying. In a blog he wrote about it. So then I was annoyed at that, so I told everyone at my gig to write to davidodoherty.net and tell him they'd really enjoyed his stand-up comedy gig. I think got to annoy him after a while. Yeah. So then we came to a truce. We had an online truce.
Oh, very good. So there's now a David O'Doherty peace accord. Yeah. And there's a peace prize in your name. And whoever negotiator could be sent to the Middle East maybe and sort that out.
Yeah, well, I think it's interesting, and it could be of use to the Middle East, because what happened was a higher power came along, who is David O'Doherty. He's a rugby player.
Oh, really?
I think Saracens in Britain, and he may be getting called up to the England squad soon.
Oh, right.
If he'll become the most famous David O'Doherty. So all the other David O'Dohertys are in fact going to have to band together, you know,
against the one mighty. It sounds like the you and the Mathematician was kind of the first film, and then you came, and at the end, and the sequel is about this like Goliath rugby player who emerged out of the mists, and then the former enemies have to get together to kind of. It does sound like it could be a Disney franchise for Saturday mornings. I feel
like if like Martians came and threatened the entire Middle East region, then everyone would have to band together.
It's true. I mean? It's true.
I'm calling David O'Doherty, the rugby player, a Martian there, but he's huge. He is huge.
He is pretty big. Or if God just flooded it all, maybe. I don't know. Yeah. If God just turned them, I've always thought bacon sandwiches. You know, I mean, who can resist bacon sandwiches? And how could they take themselves as seriously afterwards if everyone had just gone, you know what, this religion thing, the bacon.
You should just be there. You should be sorting all this out, Abie.
I should be, but instead I'm here in the Midlands Northeast broadcasting the radio station. But I love it and it's fun. Listen, you've had a pretty phenomenal year. The top prize at Edinburgh, I mean, I was in the room, it was amazing. It was like seeing Ireland win an Olympic gold medal, which we clearly weren't going to actually do in the sports field. Wow. So it was pretty magic. How did you actually, I know you, it's cynical, you go, it's only an awards, and you know, but how did it feel for you?
Well, it's certainly not a bad thing. It's definitely a good thing. In that you look at the list of previous people who've won it. I think that's the best thing to do in these circumstances. You know, you see, well, who've they given it to in the past, and like it's a pretty formidable list.
Absolutely.
There's Brian Laurie and Coogan and Daniel Kitson and Dimitri Martin and a whole lot of people like this
and
on it.
Dylan Moran and Tommy Tiernan and so on as well. Yeah.
But like, you know, Hitler won Times Man of the Year award.
That's true. He did. Yes, in 1936, I believe.
Yeah, and was it 36? Well,
I think it was the year of the Olympics. I'm pretty sure.
Right, yeah, and M People won the Mercury Music Prize in the UK. So you just don't want to become the M People of
or the Hitler of comedy, which. Yeah, I can think somebody
for the hero inside myself.
Yeah, okay.
That's I am people. Wow, that's a pretty good impersonation.
It's pretty fun. And if anyone's going to do the musical thing with the keyboard in the world of comedy, I think you're sort of in pole position there to do that.
Oh yeah, I mean that's how I'll take my career to the next level, by doing M People impersonations.
Well, I can see that somehow being amusing. Somebody told me, and I don't know if it's true, that after 9/11, well, the link here incidentally is you being the Hitler of comedy, thinking I can't imagine a less likely Hitler of comedy. But somebody told me that after 9/11 there was a huge clampdown in the States on comedians coming in and out of the country, and they were trying to do an Irish comedy festival in New York, and they had a real difficulty getting people in, and that they ended up, the two people, for some reason, yourself and Ardal O'Hanlon, and I was trying to think, could you imagine a less likely Al-Qaeda terror cell than yourself and Ardal? Somehow, I mean, maybe you could hide stuff on your keyboard and press a certain combination of keys that would somehow detonate something, but is that true? Did that actually happen? Do they have you down as like potential suicide? Because I mean, I've travelled to international airports with an orange jumpsuit and a fake suicide vest in my back. I put my hand up. I'm entitled to be stopped and searched. I'm a bearded Irishman. But like you two, I just thought, how did that happen?
We are. They know that our surrealisms can be dangerous. I did a gig in Singapore, and before you do a gig in Singapore, backstage, the stage manager says, "I have to read this to you by law," and it's a letter that says, "His Excellency, the boss of Singapore, requests that you do not question his supreme authority and the authority of his regime." But it was kind of said, "But you can if you want." But I just had to read this to you. But I'm probably the least political comedian in history of comedy. But I did have to go on stage then and go, "A man just had to read a letter to me saying there's things I'm not allowed to talk about." And of course, when you're told there are things that you're not allowed to talk about, that's then all you end up talking
immediately.
about.
Yeah, they clearly hadn't done any Irish psychological profiling on that sort of, because our attitude is, you wouldn't do that, would you? And immediately you want to. It's absolutely, I went to a gig in Pakistan where they were locking up journalists and stuff for saying stuff, and I was like, I just have to talk about it, but I'm not really supposed to, and I really shouldn't get into trouble.
Maybe it's the same as Hitler, though. Maybe Hitler got a bad review for one of his early art exhibitions, and
possibly.
Said, well, he doesn't pose any threat to society, and he went, "Oh, really? Do I not?"
Yeah. Reoccupation of the Rhineland. Yeah, it was a damn. It was underrated. Yeah, they probably got bad reviews. Maybe got a 2-star or something in the list, and then he just went, "Well, I'll show you what I can do," and just went crazy, and that's and the rest is history, as they say. So anything we should watch out for, particularly in the gig tonight in Louth?
Let's see. Yeah, because I'm writing. I'm doing 2 halves at the moment, so it's an opportunity to stretch out and really try things out. And so I've been writing quite a lot of new jokes at the moment. I'm going to do a new show in about March. I'm kind of doing a lot of secret gigs at the moment,
and then
bits and pieces.
Is there any way people can find out about the secret gigs? Or are they, by definition, they're sort of secret? I know, but is there any kind of websites that we should keep an eye on?
Send me an email. Go to davidarty.com, and the email just comes straight to me if anyone wants to go to a secret gig.
You have the weirdest, most phonetically complicated... Like, if I read it out, people could have tried 17 different types, they still wouldn't get your email correct.
Oh, to get my at gmail.com?
Yeah, it's the most obscure... Like, it's totally non-phonetic.
Do you want to know where that comes from, Abie? Do you want to know?
Tell me, because it's like I'll say it because nobody could possibly spell it correctly. It's Flamo, but it's spelled in the most obscure way. I was convinced it was to stop people emailing you because you were just bored being harassed by annoying people or something.
No, it was my breakdance nickname when I was 11. It's Flymo.
Okay, sorry, Flymo.
Because it's short for, well, you see, I wanted to be like the mowers, Flymo, but my breakdance nickname was Flymo Foe, as in fly mother foe.
Oh, okay, Flymo Foe, like not in a fake Flymo, like a faux Flymo.
I didn't, because I thought I might become so good at breakdancing when I was 11 that I didn't want to get in later years get in trouble with Flymo, who make the mowers. So I decided to spell it in what I thought was a French way, but I had never done any French at the time. So that's where it comes from. The nice thing about it is that no one else in the world is called Flymo, so you never go, whoa, you'll have to pick Flymo69 at hotmail.com.
That's true. That is. Because nobody else would spell it with a PH and an EAUX at the end.
I like when people have just become stuck with ridiculous email addresses, like, people who work for newspapers and they have to do an interview and like they're very serious, and then it turns out their email address is like nickAlastingimpression@hotmail.com, which was something they made up when they were 16.
Yeah. Or you know, cool guy 1998, you know, at Hotmail. It's like, yeah, that's looking kind of lame now.
I saw one which was like Smash Capitalism, a poster stuck up in town recently, and it was contact the Irish Workers' Solidarity Movement, or sexy girl 83 _7 at gmail.com.
Yeah, that's pretty. They had a system in Trinity actually where they would take the first 7 letters of your surname and then the first letter of your first name. So I became Philbina, which basically sounds like a Filipino woman with no skin pigmentation. But what really annoyed me is this girl with the most Enid Blyton name ever got the email address of a Detroit rapper. Her name really was Hester Chillingworth, but her email address was chillinh@tcd.ie. And I was like, that is just unfair. That's the cosmos just annoying me. Listen, David, sorry, go on.
Hester Chillingworth, wow, your life is like a P.G. Woodhouse novel.
Oh, isn't it? It's Enid Blyton-tastic.